We're live now. Check to see if we are. Just popped up. Check the what's it called? Check to see if the audio is straight. Yes, audio is straight. All right, Shalom, Kim. Shalom. All right, first off, I'm going to call Halal, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rekar Kadash. Shalom to the apostle of the great millstone, ruler of the spirit. Peace, blessing, hope for elect. All right, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, preaching the rest of the city and truth. All right, as well as my Jim Dallas, back from the blessed through the spirit, power, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And today, I want to kind of go into a quick lesson concerning Paul. And this is really a response to brothers are familiar with the Vocab when came out of the Dallas camp a couple of weeks ago. And we want to just address, and great application has been coming out since he has shown up, so it's really like Apostle Mark going to his spiritual punching bag. So that whole account was really used and really great for a lot of the applications that come out this past couple of weeks. But he asked a question about does Paul want to grip in chains? So we kind of wanted to address that and go through the scriptures and what was edifying for Achion, what he let that can receive it. And the answer is yes, he does want to grip in chains. Okay. Now, obviously, we know that couldn't happen at that time because we was in Roman captivity. Okay. But eventually, yes, Paul would love to see that he change as the rest of the Achion. Okay. As the Lord, we call it Jesus Christ. Okay. His name is Yahweh Shai in Hebrew. Okay. He's looking to have dominion as well. All right. And so we were discussing how, we went to a live show on that yesterday, how Christians like to separate Paul from the rest of the law, the right to teach them what the other apostles and the prophets did, because they don't understand Paul. Okay, they don't get what he's saying. So he was on a high level because he was taught directly by the Lord. He had shot for 3 years, man. So Paul was on a whole level concerning understanding. So when you read Paul's writings, if the Most High's not dealing with you, man, you'll be off in the left field thinking he's talking about completely something else, man. And then with the way Christians break down Paul's writings, okay, it's ridiculously contradictory, which is why a lot of Jake don't go to church anymore, which is why Jake don't subscribe to Christianity, why Jake is leaving Christianity now. And now these Christians are up in the uproar, So I actually quoted 2 Peter 3:16. Let's go ahead and grab that.
Now this is 2 Peter 3 and I started 15. Okay. And account that the long suffering of Yahweh is salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul also, according to the wisdom given unto him, had written unto you.
Right. So Peter's he's alluding to Paul, right? He said our beloved brother Paul. So they have to have been on the same accord. Okay, they had been talking about the same thing and the same beliefs and on one mind, man. Okay. And that's what Paul said, and we'll get that next, 1 Corinthians 1:10. You speak the same thing. So, hey, when you read the other apostle writings, okay, they're talking, you really understand, they're talking about having dominion and getting the kingdom. What does that mean? That means that the other nations are going to be the bottom, man. Everyone spoke the same thing, man. I said we went and said yesterday.
Real quick. Okay. 2 Peter 1:20. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation.
Right. So knowing this first, there's no sorry, read that one more time.
Okay. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation.
Right. So there's no prophecy of scripture that's of any private interpretation. And that's what Christians have to say all the time to justify themselves. Everyone has their own interpretation. Well, that shows that they don't really read the Bible and study the scriptures as they ought to. Okay, because it says there that there's no prophecy that should give any private interpretation. Okay, the scripture, there's one Lord, one faith, and one baptism. We read Ephesians. So you can't have one understanding and then have a completely whole understanding and both of them correct. Okay, it doesn't work that way, man. It's going to be one interpretation through the spirit of power you have by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And who was that given to? The nation of Israel, the elected nation of Israel. Okay, it wasn't given to people that subscribe to Christianity. Especially wasn't given to Vocab alone, man. He's a heathen, a Edomite. Okay? And the scripture says, none of the wicked shall understand when you read Daniel, the 12th chapter, the 10th verse. And then the wicked not going to get that, man. Okay? Is that one?
Yes, sir. Verse 21, for the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man.
Right, didn't come in the old time by the will of man, okay? Which that's what Christianity does, man. All those breakdowns, okay? That whole being is of man. It's of a carnal understanding, which is why they can't get the things that we're saying out there on the highways and byways. They're completely rejected, man. Why? Because they're carnal men. Okay, the scripture said that the natural man only can receive these things that are spiritual. Why? Because they're spiritually discerned. Okay, we're out there comparing spiritual things to spiritual. You can't compare a carnal understanding to serve your flesh to the spiritual understanding of the word of Yahweh by Shini Shai. Okay, it's going to clash together. Man. You're not going to get it. You know, you'll be cut off from that. That's why a lot of that's why 2/3 of Israel can't get it, because they're in a carnal mind state, following after the ways of Esau, the so-called white man. Okay, that's why they can't receive the things that we're out there on the highways and byways preaching. Okay, because they're in a completely beast-like carnal mindset. You know, after the will of men.
That's why there's so many divisions in Christianity. We have over 1,000 denominations that supposedly are under the banner of Christianity that stem from Catholicism. And that's why there's such mass confusion. You see, because you have a lot of people out there that's prophesying out of their own heart, which is a clear violation of the scriptures. There's only one way in which these scriptures are to be broken down, right?
Only one way, man. You know?
But holy men of the Most High spake as they were moved by the Holy Ghost, which is another mystery.
That's right. Exactly, another mystery. Holy men were spake as they were moved through the Holy Spirit, man. Like the brother said, which is another mystery that you Christians can't understand. Okay? You know, because those men that the Most High showed, man, that first fruits, that holy elect that was in the beginning with Yahweh, okay? Those spirits that are back on the earth today preaching and prophesying on the highways and byways, man. The scripture said they're not of this world. Lord, will we continue this forward? We're not of this world. Okay? We don't vibe with this world spiritually, you know? So the people can't get that, man. Why? Because this world is run by Satan. Okay? This world only promotes the flesh, pleasing the flesh all day, you know?
That's right. Jumping back to 2 Peter 3 and 16. As also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable rest.
Right, those are unlearned and unstable rest, man. So those type of people, man, Paul's writings are going to be hard to understand, man. Even for Jay coming to the truth, okay? You have to build yourself up, you know. And then the more you are in this thing, the more you grow, the more experience you gain, then that's when you start to understand Paul's writings. You know, even for myself, Paul was very hard to be understood when I first came to the truth. You had to be taught this word, man. You know, but that's all the scripture. You have to be taught. But also Paul's word, because he was so deep, because he was taught by Yahweh a person for 3 years. You know, but those are unstable and unlearned. They can't get that understanding. You know, and the Christianity is unstable, man. That doctrine is all over the place, man. It's a double-minded doctrine. Okay, and if the spirit is on you, then you can see that, man.
That's right. And as they do also the other scriptures unto their own destruction.
Right, and that's what Christians are doing, man. Right, they're wrestling with the understanding, coming up against the Israelites, looking crazy as hell, losing, man, to their own destruction, man. They're doing it to their own condemnation, man. You know, the spirit you have by Shina Shai is highlighting the folly and the understanding of Christianity that they don't have it, man. It's being manifested that is not the way to go. And these Christians are losing their damn minds now, because the truth is being come out. The faith of Yahweh Shina Shai is being poured back into the earth. Okay, and it's all to their destruction at the end of the day. Right? They come back and get their judgment. You know? Okay. All right. So we go with so really so what we're gonna start with is how Yahweh was with, okay, other nations being in slavery, having dominion, not only for Israel, okay. And Paul was talking about Yahushua. So Paul was with it. And like I said, that's the answer. That's the response, man. Yes, okay. Paul does want Agrippa to change, along with the rest of the Edomites and the rest of the heathen nations. Okay, Paul wasn't on his own things where he had his own way of thinking, and then everyone else is over here. Okay, so let's start with Psalm, the second chapter.
Psalms, the second chapter.
All right, and start at verse 6.
Now, this is Psalms, Psalms 2. You say in the second chapter?
Yeah, Psalm 2 and 6.
2 and 6. Psalms 2 and 6. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion.
Okay, he said his king upon the holy hill of Zion. Man, who was the king? Man, Yahushua. Okay, even on his cross, when they crucified him, when they right, the king of the Jews. Okay, Mosiah said of Yahushua, he's our actual king. Man. He's gonna come rule. Man. He's gonna govern. He's gonna sit on the throne of David, and we're gonna rule under him, man, because it's the order. Heavenly Father Yahweh, and Yahushua, okay, and King David, the rest of the 12, okay, and the rest of the 144,000, man. All right, so Yahushua is going to be our king, and that's prophesied in Revelation 19. He's going to come back and he's going to have all the crowns, you know, at the 24th chapter, you know. So Yahushua is coming back, man, because the Most High is giving everything, okay, with being obedient. He was the only begotten son, you know. Okay.
Verse 7. I will declare the decree. Yahweh hath said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee.
Right. Talking about Yahushua. You know, you can read about that in the book of Matthew as well, after he was baptized. Go ahead.
Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance.
Right. So that's that. What was said, ask of thee, and you shall give the heathen for thine inheritance, man. Okay. He's going to have rulership. Okay. He's going to have rulership over the whole earth, and he's going to have the heathen under him, man. And we're joint heirs with Yahushua, the elect. All right. Paul's a part of that number, man. He's a joint heir with Yahushua, man. So he's going to have the heathen as well.
And the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
The uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Okay?
Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron.
He's going to break them with a rod of iron, man. So according to Christians, there's not going to be any captive. There's not going to be slavery, you know, in the kingdom of heaven. We're just going to be in the sky, floating around with diapers on, you know?
Yeah, playing hearts.
You Christians going to have to explain that, man, which y'all try to explain it, and y'all failed miserably through the Spirit, man. Okay? The scriptures say what they say, man. Okay? The heathen are going to be an inheritance, okay, to Yahushua and the rest of the 144,000, the elect. Okay? And we're going to break them with, what is it? We're going to break them with a rod of iron?
Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel.
Right, so we're going to dash them in pieces, man. We're going to break them. We're going to dominate these heathens, man. Okay? We're going to have complete dominion over him, man. We're going to execute the law, statutes, commandments from Jerusalem, man. Okay? The will of Yahushua, the Heavenly Father, is going to be exacted on the planet Earth, man. Okay? We're going to completely dominate them. If they get out of line, then we're going to get them back in line, man. Because they're not going to have the law, statutes, commandments written in their heart. That's why we're going to have to rule over them and break them with a rod of iron, right? Because they didn't get that promise that Israel was going to receive, you know, which is what the law, statutes, commandments written in our hearts. Okay, to where we're not going to sin anymore. We're not going to have to teach our neighbor anymore, saying, "Know the Lord," as the scripture said. We're going to be completely righteous, man. You know, and that's just another point that the law is not done away with. You know.
Right.
The same law, statutes, commandments are going to be written in our hearts, man. So it's not going to go anywhere. Well, verse 10.
Verse 10. Be wise that now, therefore, O ye kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth.
Judges of the earth, man. And who is that going to be? It's going to be Israel. Okay, we're going to be kings and judges of the earth. No one else, man. We just read a couple verses above. that the heathen nation are going to be dominated, broken down as a potter's vessel. Right?
Matthew 24:30. And then shall appear the Son of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn.
Right. This is talking about when Yahweh comes back, man, in all glory. Okay.
Yes, I'm not gonna be happy when Yahweh returns.
Exactly. You know, not everyone's gonna be happy. Why? Because this world has taught a complete lie about Yahweh. Right? When you read Revelation 11:8, spiritually side of Egypt where our Lord was crucified, they completely X'd out the Lord's characteristics here. What he looked like, what he was about, what he taught, his true teachings, who he came for, who he actually died for. Okay, what that adoption was all about, man. It was completely X'd out here in America where salvation is wide open for everybody now, all of a sudden. You know, but the scriptures from Genesis to Revelation only speak about Israel. Okay? And that's why the tribes of earth are going to mourn, man, because they're not going to see Serapis Christians or Cesar Borgia come in glory. Okay, they're going to see a so-called Negro with a white woolly afro and a huge white beard. Mad as hell. He's not coming out to give daps and hugs, man. He's coming out to exact judgment and render a reward for the wicked and the just alike. Okay?
That's right.
Yes, man.
And they shall see the Son of Man come in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
Power and great glory. You know? And it said they're gonna mourn. Why? Because he's gonna be separating bodies, heads from bodies, man. You know, according to Isaiah 63rd chapter. That's right. It describes him as his flesh is gonna be dipped in blood, man. Yeah, he has a lot of killing to do. You know, even when you read Revelation the first chapter. Okay, those even those that pierce him are gonna catch it. You know?
Yeah. That was it. No, that was it. I just went to the second.
Let's grab Revelation. Actually, let's get Isaiah 97.
Okay, Isaiah 97. Okay. Now, this is Isaiah 9 and 7. Isaiah 9 and 7. I'm sorry, 6. Isaiah 9 and 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given.
Who's that child and son, man? It's talking about Yahweh.
And the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty Power, the Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace.
Right, so the government's going to be upon his shoulders, man. Okay, he's going to rule, man. All right, the dominions is going to have on him, and that government means we're going to be the ruling body, man. Okay, good.
Of the increase of his government and peace, there should be no end.
There shall be no end, man. Okay, everlasting rulership for the nation of Israel, man. Okay, what was that when you read Isaiah 45 and 17? Thou shalt be no more confounded. Okay, for Israel shall be saved with an everlasting salvation, world without end. Okay, that's the world that's not going to end, man. You know, and that's how you break down John 3:16, which these Christians try to hijack. You know, but that's the understanding on that. You know,
upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom,
upon the throne of David, man.
Right.
Okay, so we went into this, man. What was David doing when he was in rulership? He was conquered, man. There was so much blood that he couldn't build the temple. You know, because he had so much blood on his hands because he was worn so much. But what was he doing at the side of Edomites, man? He couldn't stand the side of Edomites. They were destroyed on sight.
As in martial law, set up embassies in that land.
Yeah, he set up garrisons. You know, there was hell in these Edomites, man. Right. And Yahushua is the son of David. He's come to sit on David's throne, man. So what does that mean? That means Yahushua is with them, you know. And then we're going to Crusader, we're going to lead into how Paul was following Yahushua. So that means Paul was with that as well. Okay, he was taught by Yahushua. Yahushua didn't. This wasn't prophesied for Yahushua, and he turned around and said something different to Paul.
Right.
You know,
because Yahushua was prophesied to come from the loins of who? King David. To what? To fulfill the prophecy that was given unto King David. We're alluding to what's that? 1 Samuel 7 and 12.
oh,
2 Samuel 7 and 12. So like,
yeah, that was it. That shows you that King Solomon is Yahushua reincarnation. Because he said he was going to punish him, you know, but he didn't. He didn't punish King Solomon. King Solomon died of old age. Yeah. So Yahushua had to take that. Had to take that punishment as Yahushua. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, King, like the brother said, man, like the Khan said, it was prophesied that he was going to raise up a man of his loins, loosely paraphrasing, that was going to sit on the throne, like the ones of King David.
and his kingdom shall be established forever. It talks about that in 2 Samuel 7 and 12. What did the kingdom of Solomon only reigned for 40 years?
Right.
You see, so we know it's not talking about King Solomon. It has to be talking about the king that's to come, which is Yahushua.
You can call it the son of David, you know, when you read the Gospels. Right. You know, that's what it's talking about. So, and we're going to get Amos 9 after this, because he said he's going to sit on the throne of David. We want to see what's going to happen when the Most High sets up the throne of David again. Okay. Was there more on verse 7?
Back to verse 7, Isaiah 9 said, "By the increase of his government and peace, there should be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice. For from henceforth, for even forever, the zeal of Yahweh of hosts will perform this."
Yeah, I think that'll be how the question is going to perform this, man. Okay, and there's going to be justice and judgment that's going to reign forth from that throne. Okay, and justice hasn't been served to the so-called white man yet, but he's done it. Okay, to the nation of Israel. Okay, because we've already proved who the Israelites are. And he touched the apple of the Lord's eye, and he hasn't been paid back for that yet. Okay, putting Jake on a reservation, giving Jake a couple of casinos here and there, and a $20 an hour job and all that crap, man, and be able to have the ability to dunk a basketball for millions of dollars, man. That's not payback. Right? You haven't wiped the slate clean yet. Okay? When you read Numbers 35 and 33, it tells you that you must cleanse the blood by him, the shed by the blood. I'm going to misquote it. Very real quick for me. Numbers 35, 33.
Oh, okay, got you.
That's right. You know, there's a particular way that the slate has to be wiped clean, man. How Shai is going to come back, and we gonna get to that, man. You know,
That's right. This is Numbers 33, 35, 35, 33.
I always get those mixed up.
Me too. This is Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein.
Right, so you can't cleanse the land, okay? Because Esau done since he's been in power. He's defiled the land because he shed the blood of the Israelites. Okay, transatlantic slave trade. Okay, dealing with Gad, he decimated 90% of the Native American Indians. Okay, he broke over 400 trees. He spilled countless gallons of blood on this land. You know, all his treacherous deeds is rape, robbery, and murder, man. Go ahead, Art.
And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
Right. The land can't be cleansed of the blood that was shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed. So Esau his blood has to be spilled, man. That's the only way to wipe that slate clean. Yahushua is coming to administer. Okay? We can't do it right now because we're not in power. We don't have the glorification right now. Okay, we don't have the spiritual power in him because this man's carnal blessing is a massive blessing. You know,
Blessings and sword.
blessings that sword, man. So he's been blessed with all types of ways to trade weapons.
That's right. And that sword what's included in that lesson is more than the physical sword. It's actually a figurative sword, man, in which the scriptures liken his tongue or his speech, his philosophy, if you will, as a sword, man. Used to what? To cut down and maim people. And you see the same ideas or the ideologies of the wicked Edomites of the 1800s, 1600s, whatever century you want to go to, had these people, the modern day Edomites are rationalizing it now, man. That's why you got America, the old slogan, "Make America Great Again," and things of that nature, you know, because they are coming in the same spirit of the forefathers, man. And the scriptures say, allude to Isaiah 5:20, woe unto him that call evil good and good evil. You see, you got a lot of people saying that America hasn't done anything wrong, that America going to these various countries and bombing them, to smithereens is not is okay. So guess what? Yahweh Shai is going to judge them for that. And more important, they are their forefathers. So they haven't got away with the judgment that said to come to this place first.
That's right. You are definitely your forefathers to the reincarnation, man. Okay? We had to, you're saying, Lamentation 5, our fathers are saying, now we have known their iniquity. Hey, so, they're not here, so we're paying for it, so you have to pay for it as well, man. You're not that special, man. You're not the people of the Heavenly Father, Right. But that pride, the pride has taught you up to where you think you don't have to pay for anything. So that's what's going to wipe the slate clean,
Really quick. Okay. Revelation 13:9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Right. So if any man have an ear, let him hear. Man. If you can receive it, receive it.
So Paul was him.
Yeah. Paul wasn't feeling this. Paul was feeling that, man. That was from John the Revelator, man, one of the apostles. Paul was in order and in line with the Spirit, man. How do we know that? Because Paul went to ask a question. And who did he go to? He went to the apostles. Okay? And Paul didn't lead it like, man, I don't know what they're talking about. No, man. I got this. Yeah, I wish I taught me so, I'm they on that. But no, man. No. That's not how this works. I said when you read 1 Corinthians, the first chapter, 10th verse, it says that you have to speak out, be mind, same mind, and speak the same thing. They call Paul a beloved brother, as I quoted earlier. That's right. So Paul was with that, man. Read that one more time.
Okay. Revelation 13:9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Who were in captivity on this time? The Romans. Okay? And one of the Romans, Paul was before making this case, and it was King Agrippa, man. So then, actually, go ahead and read on.
Okay. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And all the apostles died of the sword, man, except for John. He died of old age on the Isle of Patmos, but all the other apostles and the believers were put to death.
John the Revelator, he was on house arrest.
Yeah.
So when, like he was just chilling.
Yeah. He was being persecuted. He was being persecuted of old age, having to work in salt mine. Can you imagine how rough that was? He was what, 90 years old in the salt mines, doing back-breaking labor?
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
The patience and the faith of the saints. And the saints of the Israelites. When you read Psalms 148. Okay? That's the patience, man. Paul was having patience because he broke down Acts 26 chapter completely wrong. Saying he wished Agrippa, saying that Paul was saying he wished Agrippa wasn't in chains. Okay? No, it's patience and faith, man, of the saints, man. They knew just got to keep preaching his word, keep preaching his doctrine, and the word about it. Eventually, the Lord's going to come back, man. And their patience is going to be fulfilled, and it's going to raise up the elect. Okay? Let's go to Amos chapter 9.
Okay.
So the verse 8. Actually, I'll start at verse 9. Right? Because we read in Isaiah 9 and 7 that the government was going to be on Yahweh Shah's shoulders of the prophecy, man. And he was going to sit on the throne of David. Okay? So let's deal with the throne of David. How the Most High is going to deal with the throne of David.
Start at 8.
Yeah, I actually start verse 9.
Okay, Amos 9 and 9. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations.
He's going to sift the house of Israel among all nations. Why? Because we were scattered. Okay? And this is the end time prophecy. He's going to sift the Israel from all nations. Like I said, we were scattered according to the curses, man. Yeah. Those are the Gentiles that are being spoken of in the New Testament. Okay? The Israelite foreigners that were scattered and following the gods of wood and stone under curses because we went off. But in the end time, okay, the Most High is going to gather the elect from all nations. Okay? Yeah.
Like as corn is shifted in a sheaf, yet shall not the least grain fall on the earth.
Right. So everyone that's outcast, yeah, outcast. They're not going to fall through, and the Most High is going to get them. You know. Go ahead.
All these sinners of my people shall die by the sword.
But the rest, okay, 2/3, okay, they're going to be put to death by the sword, man. Why? Because they refuse to stop subscribing to false idols. They refuse to stop believing in Christianity. Okay, Islam, 5% Buddhism, 7-day Adventists, all these different philosophies. Okay, some are even atheists now because of Christianity.
Yep.
They're going to perish, man. Go ahead. Oh, and that cuts the mark of the beast being sin.
Didn't Paul, the apostle, to our brought this beautiful point out? Didn't Paul, what's the name of Romans?
Romans 7.
Romans the 7th chapter went into how the law is good, but he's a sinner and he wants to do good, but sin has always prevailed. Yep. So did Paul have the mark of the beast? And also, how can you buy and sell with sin? And second, what is sin?
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. You Christians completely don't have it at all. It's being manifest. It's that time. It's that time. It's for it to manifest,
Verse 10. And all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us.
Right. Some people teaching Christianity, saying that they're already saved. Thinking they're already good.
Yeah.
Yep. They're in La La Land thinking that there's no evil going to overtake them. Man, when the Jacob trouble hasn't hit yet, martial law hasn't hit yet, all these great things, terrible things that are prophesied in the scriptures haven't hit yet. But those people go, that's why the scriptures say that the day of the Lord is going to come as a thief in the night. But these people are still asleep right now on all these different philosophies. And go from their own self, in their own ways, in their own heart and mind.
They're good.
Yeah.
Especially Christians. They know that they're saved. That's a terrible state to be in, man. We hope here, we hope for salvation. We don't know the Most High is going to have mercy on us in that day. A lot of people will get caught out of guard because you have a lot of these pastors. They're not letting these people know that the day of the Lord is going to be something terrible. And it's talking about that in Amos chapter. You see? Woe to those that desire the day of the Lord. What end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness, not light. And a lot of these pastors out here, they don't even know that. They don't preach the day of the Lord being dark. Instead, they preach that the Most High wants to bless you, wants to stroke your ego and things of that nature. Prophesying peace when there is no peace. You see? So a lot of these people are going to be destroyed by the Heavenly Father. And it's going to be, they're going to be caught off guard, man. And it's because of these wicked philosophies that they have taken on to, chiefly Christianity, which is another form of Satanism, because it teaches to do whatever you deem is right. There is no law.
Right.
That's why you have these great denominations.
That's right. Right. Do as thou wilt as a cross spirit. Do whatever. And the Lord loves you. He died so you can go buck wild and have origin, do whatever.
Yeah.
And then show up on Sunday morning, sing, shout, pass out, and you're good.
Like the brother Yashwan sent a beautiful set told a video about that. One chick talking about before you go out, you know what I'm saying, make sure you praise the Lord. But tonight I gotta drop a loaf of Jesus. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow I know I'm gonna make it to the perfect gates. Yep. You know, and that's what the spirit of these people in. People are actually twerking in churches and things of that nature, bro. This is something that's really happening. It's really happening.
As crazy as there is a video you can find on Instagram. They are twerking
in a video
in church on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
Twerking, shaking their ass. That is crazy, man.
Woo!
You know, but it's all according to the Heavenly Father, man. He put a deep sleep on the people, man. Both sides cold. Both sides cold blood. You know? There's no, and he's about to show people that he needs to be feared, man. Because Christianity teaches that the Most High is some big old salt that Jacob just run over, and like the brother always brings out, they treat the Most High, he's a genie in a lamp. They got to rub and get 3 wishes. It don't matter how they act, man. So even those blessings that these so-called Christians get, man, that's nothing but a stumbling block. Because what does Scripture say in Luke the 6th chapter? Once that are rich, you have received your consolation. But a lot of those so-called Christians that are doing good, man, that is your consolation. You look good in front of the world. You look holier. You look blessed because you have a nice car. You have a really so-called really nice house according to society, right? Okay, that's your stumbling block, man. You have received your reward of men. Okay,
that's right. Verse 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen and close up the breach thereof. Right.
So with the tabernacle of David that's fallen. And how did that fall? Why? Because we started going on. It started with King Solomon. He started raising up monuments and sacrificing the gods of his concubines' wives, groves.
They did the same thing.
You know? And then the kingdom ended up being split between the Rehoboam and Jeroboam, and then eventually we went to captivity in the Babylonians. And that's when we started going to various captivities, man. You know? And that's when the tabernacle of David fell. But now the Most High is going to he's raising it back up, and he's closing breaches there because he completely hold the nation of Israel right now. He completely set enmity between the tribes. The tribes are all at each other's necks, you know. Issachar and that tribes are ridiculously racist against the Negro tribes. You know,
too much.
Look down upon them, look at them as lazy. The scripture said that Judah shall not vex Ephraim anymore. You know, Jacob, the southern kingdom picking up the Latin tribe and shit. You know,
yeah. That's true.
We're completely separated right now as a nation. Man. He completely broke us up, man. We're divided. So now he's closing the bridges up amongst the elect. So there's going to be 12,000 from each tribe on one accord in unity in the spirit of God. You know? And then that's when he's going to deliver. Then the rest of the sinners that are going to perish, they're going to come back to belong to the elect. So they're still going to be good. They're just not going to make it this first go around. You know? And like I said, he's bringing up the tabernacle of David. Who's going to sit on that tabernacle? Yahweh. You know?
Yeah. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old.
Days of old, man. How was it in the days of old? Chilling and complete dominance. The nations were under the nation of Israel. We were given tribute, okay? And the nations were good. They just had to give tribute to the Israelites. Man. The world was straight, you know. But what was David doing, man? As in the days of old, like I said, he was conquered to where Solomon had 40 years of peace, and everyone was under. So now we're gonna do that again, man. The Lord comes back. We're just gonna go and clean all this madness up, man. And put everyone under the will of Israel. The Spirit of God, Yahweh. That's what the scriptures are talking about, man. You know, if you can't get it, hey, so what? You know, it is what it is, man. know, that's the truth. But also the scripture said that not everyone's going to receive this. Why? Because it's not of this world. Yep, it ain't for everybody. You know? What that?
That they may possess the remnant of Edom.
Possess the remnant of Edom.
The remnant of Edom.
And Vocab already admitted that Agrippa was an Edomite.
Yeah.
You know?
Still didn't specify when the Edomites were totally eradicated.
Right. And it can't be totally eradicated twice. That's not the definition of totally.
Yeah.
You know. But hey, that's so hey, Paul, we're gonna prove that Paul was with the fall of Yahweh, which we all know that. You know. Yahweh is gonna sit on the throne of David, and we're gonna possess the remnant of Edom, man. A lot of these Edomites are gonna perish in the concentration camps, race riots, thermonuclear destruction, Third World War, famine, disease, all these different plagues that the Heavenly Father's plague in Egypt, that the new Egypt with. But there also will be some that's going to walk in captivity, chiefly these elites, man. When you read Isaiah the 24th chapter, okay? They're not going to perish in this Third World War, this destruction. Okay, they're going to be rounded up. They're going to see firsthand how it feels to be put into slavery. Along with other Edomites that fall through the cracks of the destruction. Right? They're going to be rounded up as well in slavery.
Verse 12, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and all the heathen which are called by my name, said Yahweh that doth this.
Right, and the Most High is doing this.
Yeah, Most High.
Yahweh wants this to happen. This is His will, man. And all the rest of the heathen, man. So-called Japanese, Chinese, so-called Africans, all these different nations, man, are going to be under the rulership of the nation of Israel. And the Most High is doing that. He's with it. He's with it, man. Okay? Because Israel is His people. He's with it. Okay? Let's get a 1 Corinthians 1. 1 Corinthians 1. These other three. Okay?
Now, this is 1 Corinthians 11 and 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Mashiach.
It says, be ye followers of me as I also am of Mashiach. Okay? So we just proved that the government's going to be upon him, and he's going to have the heathen for his inheritance, man. He talks about this for prophecy, he's going to come back and enslave the nations, man, to render reward to the wicked, man. Okay? Even though when you read that King David prophesied in the book of Psalms, I believe it's the 20th chapter, he talks about when Yahushua goes, he said, for dogs have to pass me about. Talk about when he was crucified, man. He was referring to the Edomites. You see the Edomites as low, man. And he's with it. So Paul's a follower after Hamashiach, man. So Paul is with that, man. He's with it. He's with giving these heathen nations the vision when the Lord comes back, man. When you read Revelation 2 and 26, it says, he that overcometh to the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Right? That's what he's looking for. That's what the apostles were looking for. That's right. Real quick, Acts 1. Since you Christian like to be in the book of Acts so much.
It says Acts 1 and 6. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
That's what the apostles were looking for when Yahushua rose, man, from the dead.
Let you know what the kingdom is too. Kingdom, or where the kingdom going to be. The kingdom going to be on planet Earth.
That's right. They didn't say you're going to take us up into the sky till we can live with you forever. No, he has, is it time now for us to be back on top according to the prophecies? Right. Because that's how they knew who Yahushua was, man, according to the prophecies, man. And they knew what was going to happen when the Messiah came. Right. He was going to deliver his people. Okay? You read about that in Luke, the 1st chapter.
Man, I was about to get to that, bro.
Okay. That's spirit.
Yeah. Luke 1 and 67. Luke 1 and 67. And his father Zacharias was filled with the Holy Ghost and prophesied, saying, Blessed be the Lord power of Israel, for he has visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David.
Oh man, there go that house of the house of David. The tabernacle of David being raised up, man. Okay, read it one more time.
Kind of Luke 1 and 67. And his father Zacharias was filled with the Holy Ghost, prophesied saying,
filled with the Holy Ghost.
When you filled with the Holy Ghost, what you filled with? You filled with the understanding of the word. That's how you think to pinpoint who Yahushua was.
That's right. That's why the Lord told Peter, "Blessed art thou, Simon, flesh and blood hath not revealed this unto you, but the Spirit revealed unto him that he was Hamashiach." Okay, the anointed. And that was that understanding to see and break down the prophecies correctly, to see in the Spirit, man. You know, the Christian it's actual being. You know,
yeah, it's a person.
Yeah, it's brother beautiful lesson of, you know, a lot of times that's just for him using scripture use personification, you know, but it's really just an understanding. You know, they get it, you know. Go ahead.
Verse 67, blessed be the Lord power of Israel.
Israel. Okay. In the New Testament, he said of Israel.
Yeah. For he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David.
House of his servant David.
All right.
Okay. Horn represents power, man. The power of salvation. He said he redeemed his people. What does Deuteronomy 28:68 say? No man shall buy you. When you look at the word of Hebrew, it means redeemed. You know? No carnal man is going to redeem us. That's why Yahushua is coming back in all glory. That's why when you read Isaiah 47:1, it says, I shall not meet thee as a man. He's coming back in with a complete angelic and holy power, man, to save his people. Go ahead.
As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies.
Saved from our enemies,
bro. Come on now.
We was in the midst of our enemies this time, man, under the Romans. Okay? Saved from our enemies, man. All the nations had a time of having their hands upon us and having us in captivity. Okay? Go ahead.
And from the hand of all that hate us.
All that hate us, man. Okay? All the nations. All other nations, man, that they show nothing but hate, especially these Edomites, man. Still showing hate today. Real bad. Man. You know? Go ahead.
To perform the mercy performed to our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant. What's the holy covenant? For him to put the laws in our inward thoughts. The mother had mentioned that earlier. Sit down. You see? That's what Yahushua has ushered in, with him being a propitiation, that ultimate sacrifice for only a group of people, the nation of Israel, alluding to Isaiah the 11th chapter.
You see, Israel, you know, and that's him dying, start that adoption, and that understanding that Holy Spirit being put back on the Lord's people, because we were cast off. Okay, so now we're coming to the fulfillment of that.
And Paul knew that. He understood who was the cursed people, who were the people that were deemed as the sons of perdition. He talked about that in Romans 9th chapter.
That's right. Let's go ahead and grab it.
Okay. Now this is Romans 9 and 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated, man. Okay? And where did he quote that from? He quoted from Malachi, the 1st chapter, man. You know? The Most High hates Esau, man. He's not with the Edomites, man. And if we already said, you agree that Agrippa was the Edomite. Okay? He's not quoting this for no reason, man. He understood and was with it, man. He just couldn't, like brought the example. When you go to court, man, you're not gonna go wilding out, man. You're gonna be held in contempt. At that time, you put to death.
Now, Paul wanted to be included. He said that, well, you know, as it's written, Jacob have my love, but Esau have my enemy. Y'all Edomites, so you guys gonna be destroyed when the guy who got killed, a couple of years ago, come back.
You mean off with his head?
Man, get him out of here. Yeah. We already had the Jews, saying that the dude was committing all types of blasphemy things that nature.
Right. Because the Agrippa was like, well, you speak for yourself. Right. So that would substantiate what the Jews were talking about. All this guy is crazy.
Yeah, he was sitting on the various judgment seats. Agrippa was over the territory of Judea. You see, first it was with his father, Herod the Great. And when Herod the Great died, his children got the land. Herod the Great was considered king of the Jews. Why is that? Because his father, Antipater, was basically a what's the word for it? When you're a ruler and you find somebody, I forget the term, but he basically was friends with John Cranus's child. I forget which one it was. You see, I think it's Aristobulus, if I'm not mistaken. So they used to correspond with each other, and then of course look what happened. See right, 12th chapter happened. Never trust your enemy. You see, he was overthrown, and until Antipater instated his son, and he was deemed the king of the Jews. Why is that? Because we had John Cranus made Judaized all those Edomites. He forced them to practice the customs of the scriptures. Right. So they knew about the scriptures, man. You see? So it would have been hella unwise for him to go in there and say all that madness. That's right. Not madness, but say the truth in that fashion. You would have been destroyed.
I always talk about being prudent. He said, "Now this law without expedient." When you read Romans 13 chapter, it tells you to be subject to the powers. Paul was expressing prudence. Right? Same thing the Lord said. Same thing. Be wise and serve her with love. He said, "Who's render unto Caesar what Caesar, but to the Most High what the Most High is." Man. You just expressing being salty in the spirit. But Paul knew what it was, and he looked for this thing because he taught it. And those who were chosen to get the understanding of the elect, they understood that. Right, go ahead. That's right. Read verse 18.
Verse 13 of Romans 9:13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? God forbid.
Right. Is there unrighteousness with the Heavenly Father because he hates Esau and loves Jacob? No, there's no unrighteousness with that, man. Yahweh forbid, man. Paul was in line with that, man. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, for he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion.
And who was he having mercy and compassion on, man? Israel. That's it.
Come on, bro.
That's it. Keep going.
So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that shows mercy.
Right. So you're trying to, Christianity teaches you to try to exact your will on the Heavenly Father, man. You try to put the Most High in the box and tell him what he's going to do. Right. That's their favorite thing. Not my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Not your God. Because your God is your belly, man. So he's not going to do it. But hey, with that God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, how about Shem Yahushua? Okay, he chose his people Israel. All right, that's why the scripture say in Malachi the 3rd chapter, Lord, I changed not therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Okay, it's still all about Israel, man. And we're gonna continue to push that. Go ahead.
For the scriptures say unto me, of Pharaoh, even for this same purpose I have raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth.
Right. He's saying that he set up Pharaoh in Egypt. Oh, he set up Esau now. Yeah, he set up Esau in the Roman captivity. Right. But now Esau has been set up in the new Egypt. So the Most High can show his power. You know, and the way he has it planned out is almost there's not going to be a shadow of doubt that the Most High did this. That the Most High brought this man down, and then he raised up his people according to his will and his spirit. You know. Well,
therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will he hardeneth.
Whom he will he hardeneth.
Yep. The whole nation of Israel is hardened. Now allowed by the words of Yahweh Shai. Never had before faith of Christianity like he's so loving and giving. Historically speaking, has been nothing but anything but those words said, those Latin words. It's been very, very violent, you know, and dividing of the people.
Right.
And it really is just for the white supremacy. You see? And that's something that Vocab alone doesn't want to admit. And that's why he never really answered any of our questions. When it came to Christianity and the violent past. Yeah, he wants to paint us as if we're just terrorists. You know, that's what they do.
Yeah.
The devil with that sword, that figurative sword, which is the tongue.
Psalm 64. Shield the perfect with their words are shown as arrows. Paraphrase. You know, the words are what they're talking about. You know. Is it on that? I think so. Okay. Let's get a second test on this too. Okay. Just start the time.
Now, the second Thessalonians 2:1. Now, we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord, Mashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind or be troubled, neither by spirit nor by word nor by letter, as from us, as that the day of Mashiach is at hand.
Yeah, the Lord is at hand. Okay, go ahead.
Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first.
Right. And what was that falling away? Okay, us discontinue from our heritage completely, man. In this captivity. Because in various captivities, we always knew we were Israelites. We couldn't keep the laws, statutes, commandments, and sacrifice that we wanted to. But in this time, we completely got the Hebrew beat out of us. We came over here singing Sweet and Low, Sweet Chariot, Kumbaya, which is Hebrew. You know, but eventually, Esau beat the Hebrew out of us. For now, Jacob describes the Christianity, African American, Mexican. Okay, all these different proverbs and bywords, man. We completely fell away as a nation, you know. So now, since we had it, now we're waking back up. And he's talking about that day was what, the day of the Lord, the day of judgment and the Lord coming back. It's not gonna happen unless they come falling away first, which we fell away. Go ahead.
And that man of sin be revealed.
That man of sin be revealed, man. We're in a time when that man of sin being revealed, man. Go ahead.
The son of perdition.
The son of perdition, man. The question to you, Christian, who was the son of perdition?
The son of perdition.
You know? Talking about Esau, man.
Esau, as I say, Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You know? And that's where they get the that one antichrist from there. That one guy sitting in a high-rise building or control the world. No, man. Which there are many antichrists. You just gotta get the understanding on it, man. It's the house of Esau. Right. Okay? Look it up. That's right. Because he's the wicked on the planet Earth. And all his lineage. Okay, the Edomites.
Who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called the Most High.
Or who opposes and exalts himself all that is called the Most High. Who is doing it right? So-called white people that are doing shit, man. It ain't just one dude. It's all the elite banking families, man. Chiefly the Amalekites, okay? These so-called Jews that's running the world right now. There is different various sects and and institutions around the world, man. They're opposing everything according to the Heavenly Father. Okay, with their science, with movies, the way with their policies, man, their whole time walking throughout the earth, man, it's in complete opposition to how Hashem Yahushua. Go ahead.
Who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called the Most High, or sit in, or that is worship, so that he, as the Most High, sit in the temple of the Most High, showing so that he is the Most High.
Right, they're putting themselves up as God, you know.
Transhumanism.
Yeah, transhumanism. Okay, GMO foods. Okay. Allowing these people to get the various sex changes, trying to clone animals. They're trying to do all these things because of what they're saying. They're saying they're saying the Most High didn't do a good job. Right. They're saying that they can do it better, man. They're putting themselves above the Heavenly Father.
No, it's like all that comes from idol worship. We talked about that with Wisdom of Solomon 14 chapter. Which proves that these so-called Christians don't have to understand the scriptures. Right? Who's pouring in that agenda? Well, there was a report that came out that said you have the vast majority of Christians that are pro homosexuality. You see what I'm saying?
That's justified people. That justifies people saying they feel like they should be born a woman if they were born a man. It's all in the same umbrella. So now to where a lot of now kids are able to get sex changes in schools without the consent of parents. But this is a Christian society, though. We went to sleep one night and woke up the next day. Homosexuals can get married in 50 states, man. Overnight, there was just like that was just some small thing, But who is doing this though? The Edomites. So Paul was with them, and he's talking about that man skin fulfilled. He said that this is the time that we're gonna have these Edomites in chains, man. This one is the day the Lord's gonna come. We're gonna have dominion. We're gonna be the kingdom. After all these things played out, man. So he spoke against the Edomites, man. Okay? Right. He called him the man of sin. He knew Agrippa was a man of sin. You just have to, play it cool, man. You have to call his way out of the situation. We have to, be respectful to the powers of people. We're in captivity. It's not smart. Just like in the times we're in now, man, it would be smart to go put a homosexual to death. Or whatever law that we would think of that you should be able to do. We're not sovereign right now. We don't have rulership to exact our laws the way we're supposed to. We're just rehearsing the right to that, so we do what we can. Same thing with Daniel. All right, Daniel was pretty much the president. He was at a high level in the Babylonian captivity. But he bring us the Most High, was the Most High, and he bring us Nebuchadnezzar with Nebuchadnezzar. All right, he didn't bow down to his idols, but other than that, he was in order if he was able to.
Go to certain ceremonies. He said that.
But when his faith was tested, he sided with Yahweh Yahushua was delivered. And that's where we're getting to. That's the time that we're coming.
However, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know that withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time.
Right, he might be revealed in his time. That's right. We're in that time now.
For the mystery of iniquity doth already work.
The mystery of iniquity is already working, man. Let's talk about the Roman Empire. It was already working, man. Go ahead.
Only he who now letteth will let.
Talk about the Heavenly Father. Go ahead.
Until he be taken out of the way.
Until he be taken out of the way. He's about to be taken out of the way now. Okay? So the scripture said, here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Paul understood that, man. He knew there was going to be a time to where they were going to be taken out of the way. It just wasn't that time yet. You know?
Now, well, nah, I'm gonna push it.
Verse 10.
Now read down verse 10. Verse 8. And then shall the wicked be revealed,
Shit that are wicked be revealed. Go ahead.
whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
The wicked is being revealed now, man. Talking about the Edomites.
Yep. Destroyed. Being destroyed.
He's been destroyed, man. And the Lord's gonna come back and finish that, man. He's gonna consume them with his mouth and the brightness of his coming, man, in all glory. And destroy these Edomites. Okay? And the rulership. Go ahead.
Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan.
Even him whose coming is after the work of Satan, man. The Edomites. Okay? The scriptures say what? Proverbs 29:2. Let's quote it. That's right. That's outright.
Okay. I know someone.
Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Okay? So that's talking about the wicked, man, the Edomites. Okay? And the same people he's talking about now, man. Whose coming is after the working of Satan. Because their work is after Satan. Man, look at the state of the earth.
That's right. That's right. Why do you think Paul quoted Malachi the first chapter? Because he knew.
Mm-hmm.
And if you read down, he goes into how the lost sheep are going to be saved. He quoted what, Hosea, the first chapter.
Yep. When you read down the ninth verse, ninth chapter of Hosea, he quoted Hosea the first chapter.
So he knew and he understood who that son of perdition, who that profane person was, man. Alluded to with Hebrews 12th chapter.
Yep.
You see, he understood that this guy has to be taken out of the way in order for the nation of Israel to be set up.
Yep. He understood that, man. But I said, you Christians, you're not going to get it. But all this does is, man, it just provides more edification to build up the hope of that.
That's right.
That's what we are for. Preach and edify, pull down these strongholds and different beliefs and this madness that these Christians do. So this is nothing for ammo for our camp to continue to push his word and build each other up.
That's right.
Go ahead.
What kind? Verse 9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders.
All power, signs, and lying wonders. That's Esau.
That's Esau, bro. That's him.
He's lying. Well, he just got her lying, bro. Lying about the age of the earth, lying about going to the moon, amongst other things, man. Power, signs, and lying wonders that he's perpetuating to make himself look like he's the Most High. He's righteous, man. But all those are being cast down, brother. That's why everyone, the world is in the state that is in, and Esau loses his damn God. He's had hell just trying to, do a live stream because he added a whole bunch of different stuff that you had to download, and he knows his word's coming out, man. He's cut. He's being found out.
That's right.
But he can't do anything about it.
You're gonna start reacting with that sword. You start to see that. You start to see that on the message. Had a mass shooting in El Paso yesterday, and another one this morning. By two Edomites. Both of them are fed up. Writing manifestos, talking about America needs to be great again, things of that nature. And these people are coming from affluent neighborhoods, man. Why is that? Because they feel the heat. Spiritually speaking, they feel the heat on them. They're feeling white guilt, if you will, and that white guilt is galvanizing them to become violent, which is another. Go ahead. Which is another indicator of who the son of perdition is. Because whose blessing was that sword? He saw evil, so he's going to revert back to that blessing.
Yeah,
that's like what's going on.
Revert back to what they know. Exactly right.
Verse 10. Verse 10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
Right. See what rights that perish, man. About 2/3 of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, that's when you read 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter. It said, if our gospel be hid, as they hid in that lost, and God in this world have blinded their minds. It's talking about Esau, man. Satan has blinded the people, man. Where they're walking toward his tomb, man. That's right. So they're not going to be saved, man. They're going to say, as we read, all the sins my people shall die by the sword, man. So following out the ways of Esau, man, you know, you don't join the hand in hand with this devil. You're going to be destroyed right along with him, man. Right. You know? That's it, bro. That's pretty much all I had. I can't wait. Lord, that was edifying for Akian. Hey, so it's a call law, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rakadash, the bonds of the apostles, the elders, the news, the spirit, peace, blessing, hope for the elect. Shalom. Shalom.